Hello, welcome back to the Spider's Web, and in this video we're going to be painting a little something different. Taking a little break from Mansions of Madness, Mythic Battles Pantheon. I'm saying Mansions of Madness because I've got all my minis of Mansions of Madness and I've just been looking at them. Right, so as you may or may not know, if you've been following our adventures on D&D, the Tuesday night D&D games that we play, you'll know that my drow character Geld has been brought low and beheaded and generally deadified in a battle with giants, and I now have a new character. That character is a Tiefling Sorcerer by the name of Elfric Drown, and I've been trying to find some minis to go along with the character. I couldn't find any, but Ali managed to find some. I ordered it and this is the box. Okay, as you can see it's empty because the actual minis are ready for painting. Now on the bottom, which is nice, it says primed, paint ready, out of the box. I've no spraying to do. Already sorted. All I have to do, get them out of the box, set them up and get cracking. They've been primed, they've been washed, they're just ready to colour in. Oh yes. These are Nolzur's Marvellous Miniatures. They are D&D minis. As you can see, they are Tiefling Sorcerers. It says compatible with Vallejo paints. I'm not using Vallejo, I'm using my usual Citadel. And you get 2 minis in the pack. Now because this is going to be the same character, I'm going to paint them in the same way, but there's 2 variants. So I'm, in fact, no, they do have different clothing on, so I'm going to do them slightly different but using the same colours. I'm not going to show both of them, I'm going to show one. I'll probably show that one. And I'll paint this one off camera, but you're going to see exactly what I'm doing. But I'm going to put that box aside because it's now rubbish. Let's bring on the minis. Here is the one I'm going to be painting on camera. There we go. Yes indeed, he's looking a nice mini there. As you can see, it's clear. The flame whip thing is clear. It's a snake kind of effigy bug, dragon. Oh, that's nice. I hadn't noticed that before, just thought it was a flame. And then we have this one. Now with this one there's like fire bolts coming off it. So that's the one that we're going to do off camera because well, we don't really need to do them both on camera. They're exactly the same mini, near enough. There's not much in the line of not too much difference in them. There is a little bit, they're wearing different clothing, but I'm going to do them near enough. Not exactly the same clothes, but well, they're not the same clothes. I'm going to do them in similar colours because, well, that's the kind of style he has. At least that's the way I'm seeing it anyway. Before they primed it, they could have got rid of all the mould lines. I'm just seeing them now. There we are, never mind. Well, that will do. Okay, so let's, I'm saying that will do. I'll say that will do and then I'll find more. Oh dear, let's get on with it, shall we? Stop faffing about and get on with it. Okay, so we're doing this fella. First thing we want to do is the skin. And the first thing I normally do is the skin. However, this guy has reddish skin. And I don't particularly want to go overboard. So he's just going to get a wash of Carroburg Crimson. So I'm going to wait for a while. I'm going to do the clothing first, and then I can do the wash. I can do his hands, his face, and his tail in a wash of Carroburg Crimson, and then highlight it later on. This also needs a little bit of a wash, and I'll do that with an orangey yellowy colour. The main parts I'm going to be painting then are the clothing. So, what colour are we going to do? I know. Let's just start. Right, we're going to start off with the little tunicky thing on the front, that little bit that also has like a brickwork look to it. And we're going to do a slightly different-ish colour than we'd normally do for clothing. Bestigor flesh. So we'll get some of this on our palette. There's not much of this needed, so let's pop a little bit down there. Pop that there, and then we'll get our little brush out. A bit of a dampen it a little to aid paint flow, and into the paint. Now, as you may be able to see, he's got like a little jacket on underneath, but we're trying to get all of this area that should be the Bestigor flesh painted in this colour. You may see, in fact, I'm going to paint both on camera because they are both quite different clothing, so it's not as if I'm painting the exact same mini. So I'm doing both on camera, and then that way you can see how they look. On this one, it's a little tricky trying to get to these areas here and to see what they are. It looks like he's wearing some form of shirt, because I can see a collar kind of thing sticking up there, so I will paint that. Again, sometimes it's difficult to see what colour you're painting with until you actually start putting colour on, and then you can see where things are supposed to be. Now, I say I'm going to do these both on camera. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint them. I'm not going to do a natural stop in the videos. I'm just going to paint. When I've reached a certain length of time, I'll stop the video and then I'll resume it for the next video, so I'm doing about 20-30 minutes long. Because I don't particularly want to go over too much over that, so that's how I'm aiming for. It's around 20, so it's 20-30 minutes long for these videos. I'm not going to be going into great detail for these minis. Although saying that, you know, they are nice looking minis, so I may do a little bit of what do we call it on it. Well, I'm going to do as best as I can with it, but I don't want to be going overboard like I am with the Mythic Battles ones. You're just going to be painted to a decent tabletop standard. There we go. So I've got that colour on both. The reason I'm using the same colour palette is because I want to tie them together. I don't want to make them look too different. There will be different colours ever so slightly on some of these, on these two minis, but as I want to try to make them look as though they are the same character but just wearing slightly different clothing. It would be nice if there was no such thing as mold lines. Oh well, can't have everything. So that's that bit. Next, what do we have? Well, he's wearing a long coat on both, but it's not the same coat. There we are. Yeah, it's not the same coat, it is a different coat, but he also has something under that bit as well, as you can see on that one. So that is going to have its own little colour, and that colour I'm going to use is Rakarth Flesh. We're using flesh tones on clothing here, as you may have noticed. For no reason other than the fact that I like the colour. So we'll paint underneath that part that we've done. As you can see, I'm not bothering to go on the palette with this because there's not a great deal of it. But I mean, personally, I would go with, you know, obviously wearing black, but it doesn't really make the greatest of colour schemes for things. So if everything's black, it looks very, very plain and uninteresting. But as you can see, as you know, I tend to wear black mainly anyway, but okay, that's that. Next, on this fella we have no, that's a coat. There's a few little accoutrements attached to the coat. Like daggers and pouches and things. So we're not going to be touching those. On this one we have a little Ujit here sticking out. I mean, I really could have now would do with the box just to see what the picture shows me, but oh well, I don't know where I've thrown it now, never mind. I want something dark for the coat. and we're going to use for the coat a little or even a lot of when I can find it, so there we are, Rhinox hide. So what I need to do as well is also put to one side the paints that I'm using in this, because I've started with listing the paints at the start of the videos. What am I saying? It's nice to have them to one side and I know which ones I've used. So a bit of Rhinox hide there, and that's going to, and into that we're going to be adding a little bit, and I just mean a little bit of, when I can find the flipping paint, there we are, corn red, just to take off that just stark brownness. We're not going to be using a lot of this because I don't want this to be a red coat. I want it to be a brown coat. There we go, so that's taken off a little bit of the brown, and also into that I want to add Cantor blue. That will grey it a little. If you add blue into a colour, it usually greys it down. So I don't want a lot, as I say. I'm just trying to make it so that it's just not that Rhinox hide plain brown colour. I'm looking for something slightly different, but fairly similar. Okay, so that's that. Now we'll get on with painting the coat. Now I'm actually going to paint both these coats exactly the same colour because, well, you would. And don't worry if it looks a little dark at the moment, it's not going to stay that way. What I want to do, however, is make sure I don't get any paint at all on the clear pieces. That's going to be incredibly difficult. I wish this was a multi-part model for that reason, because trying to get behind there is a little tricky. So do the bottom of this and the edges. The lining is going to be a different colour. In fact, no, the lining is going to be exactly the same colour, but I'm going to take a little bit of that colour and add in some of the flesh tone that we used earlier. And the lining is going to be this colour. As I said, the hard work is trying to get in to do the areas that you want to paint without getting it everywhere else. And yes, I know I haven't got it there, but all as best I'm going to be able to do it. So I'm going to change brushes now into a finer brush, because we have more detail to paint. I need to be a bit more careful where I'm applying the paint, so better using a smaller brush for that. And I'm going to go straight to the end of the arm. I don't know if that is a full sleeve this model has, or whether it's slightly different. I think it is slightly different looking at it now from this angle, but so the emphasis here is trying not to get it on the clear area, or if you do get it on the clear area, get as little as possible on the clear area. You don't want a great big smudge of it. You know, the best thing they could have done with this and made the arm with the clear plastic a separate piece to ease the painting, but